Alright. I'm gonna keep rolling. So, last we left off, we got a little in over our heads in the Black Forest. Not really a place we should have been going, but it wasn't gonna stop me. So I think we probably want to head either down here somewhere or further around this coast. Because what I'd like to see is a good place to start setting up shop. Oh, it's a boar. They're afraid of fire. Okay. So we're just gonna head around. I will actually keep the torch out just cause like, you know. Yeah, you don't like the fire, do you? Just for lighting purposes, for the atmosphere, you know. We were just walking around. Knife and torch in hand. Plus, I know YouTube, like, historically has had issues with darkening things. Oh, I picked up 42 pieces of wood. That's right, I put those there. YouTube's got a history of, like, darkening videos a little bit, so... probably really hard to see. Yeah, here's a little bit more of the Black Forest up there. And I wonder if this... I mean, if this mostly just wraps around here, it's probably a good bit of Black Forest close by here. Yeah. But I am usually pretty picky about where I set my first base, so we're just gonna run around in the night until we find some. Until we find a good base area. Which let's check this real quick, because this probably isn't terrible. There is a bit of a stream going through it, right? But honestly, like up here or over here might not be bad. I think for right now, what I'm gonna do is we may end up building a little more over there, but for right now, I am just going to use the hoe to flatten out a little bit of area. Put a workbench down somewhere. Yeah. I'm gonna set up a couple lights so we can kind of see a little bit. And right now, I don't even think I'm going to be making mostly a base. I think, dang, you can't really change that. Here. We're going to set up a little crafting area. Do that. Gonna set this up. Gonna set up a little fire. Gonna set up some cooking stations. Yeah. Cook some stuff, repair some things. We can make a bow at this time, which I might do. But I mean, we'll have access to a pine wood bow soon enough, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. What I will make though is a shield. Feel pretty good about that. We'll do one of those. Yeah. Okay. And we want to place down, we want to grab more wood, which will help us put that crafting improvement, what are they called? Workbench improvement? Yeah. Help us put that down. We gotta make sure these don't burn. These will burn if you leave them on the fire. So let's not do that. I need 10. A little bit more. Really? Only 9? Okay. It's more like it. And that will let us place this down, which will give us access to troll leather. And I guess since we made the deer hide, we'll make troll leather just to replace this rag, because this isn't very good. Okay. Now we're blue. Our armor has skyrocketed from that encounter with the troll from 3 to 14, so that's pretty nice. Yeah. We've got a good amount of food, although we are running out of the honey. So I'm gonna, yeah, let's make a couple chests. Let's make a couple beehives. I think that'll be good. We'll start setting up a little area. And you know, maybe I will make a little starter house over here. So I feel like that's going to be more interesting than just having, you know, a little crafting table with a pile of chests to hold stuff. Usually wait till I've gotten a pickaxe, but we'll make it work. So we can flatten the ground a little bit, and what we're probably going to want to do, I am going to set some chests just because I have a lot of stuff on me at the moment. I'm going to set some of these. Actually, might end up using these rather than the honey. A lot of this stuff that I don't really need on me right now, I'm going to set up in chests. We're not really going to organize it just yet. Actually, we'll take those and give you those. So, get some wood. I'm actually going to tear this down. I'll put this crafting table probably somewhere outside of here if we can. Good enough. Yeah, get rid of these lights. We don't really need them right now. Okay. Now what do we want to make? We're gonna need to prop it up a little bit. Probably prop that up. Let's grab that. Let's see. I'm gonna build the frame of a little house on stilts. Just flatten a little bit of this if we can. Flattened it so much the workbench didn't stay up. Okay. And we can go for, oh well, any old shape really, but Uh, sure. Let's do something a little funky. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. So you notice, by the way, this is a little bit of the stability system, I guess, in the game. Whenever you mouse over a build piece, right, with the hammer, it's got a different color to it. And blue means that it is foundation. It's connected to foundation. It's like directly on the ground. And, you know, all of these are green because they're pretty close, right? But as you go out and you get further unsupported, you get closer to being red, and if you try to build out too far, it'll just break. So you need a little bit of support here and there. Does this reach? No, that didn't reach. There we go. But also, I could probably raise that a bit, couldn't I? We'll get the ability to put the grass back on later. Yeah, that gives it a little bit more stability. And we'll do that. And that'll reach. Okay. I think this can all get held up, but we're running out of wood. Sometimes it's nice to collect a bunch of wood up before you, I missed. Oh, and I threw it really far, too. That's the thing about the spear. So. It's nice to collect a bunch of wood up before you even start, building. Just to have it. So, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because this game feels really peaceful. Just kind of, you know, walking around, chopping down trees, putting up a base. A lot of the early game in the meadows in the Black Forest is very, I don't know, it's just very peaceful. And I think that it's nice to take some time and just do something that's enjoyable. Oops. So we're gonna sit and do that. Can I walk straight up this? I sure can. These. Okay, get rid of that. Maybe. Oh, this is another thing the hoe is useful for. Let me kill this boar. Once you have a workbench down and you've got some stone in your inventory, you can use the hoe to not only level but raise the ground up. You can also make paths. If you just want to have this effect without the effect of like potentially raising or lowering the terrain, you can just use this. You can also place rocks, I guess, if that's something you wanted to do. Hold up. Oh, we found cheat codes. I probably won't make too much use of that, but you place a rock for the cost of one rock, and you pick it up and get two. So That's interesting. Anyway, I guess it would be nice for the fire to be over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build up the terrain a little bit here, because fire can't just be placed in any old spot. It's a little bit more specific than that. And what I'm gonna do here. So you know what? Let's be cute with it and do alternating. Yeah, let's do alternating, because it looks good. Fires can't be placed on like just any old thing. They need to be placed directly on something it considers foundation. So before we are really able to build out of stone and other things like that, we'll have to put it on the ground. So let's just move the ground up a little. That'll give us a nice spot for our campfire. Oh. There we go. And I just noticed I don't have a rested bonus. And I also haven't eaten. So let's get this fire back and placed. I'm gonna put 2 down. I'm gonna have 2 fires there and there. And I'm also, quickly before my hammer breaks, because I've made this mistake before, I'm gonna put down some cover over this workbench. There. So I can repair it. If you break your hammer before you make a covered workbench, you basically just have to make another hammer, because you can't repair anything. Which is a little bit awkward. Okay. So we do that. We're gonna alternate to make a nice little crisscross pattern. Boom. There we go. That looks nice. We can kind of... Oh, and we're out of wood again. That's why it's better to, you know... Actually, can I get roof and fire over here? Oh, I sure can. Perfect place. Yeah, that's why it's nice to get a lot of wood in advance. And you notice the music changes too. This is the music that just plays when you're in your base. So we'll start to make something of a base here before too long. That missed. The arc on that shot is actually pretty severe. Okay. So I want to make kind of a windowed area over here. Let's see. How does that look? That's probably pretty good. And we'll keep these beams going to help frame it a little better. Have a window. Do I want to mess with it too much more, or do I want to keep it open? Like, do we want to put a little beam in here? Maybe add. I like to do this little trick with the fence posts. If you place them just right, you kind of get something like that going. I think that's kind of cute. Yeah, that might be nice to have by the fire. So we'll do that. Do that. These we're gonna have. Do I want doors on it, honestly? Or do I want to just keep it open? I might just want to keep it open. Okay. Actually, no. I'm not gonna put doors here. This is probably gonna be back where I put my chests. And if I've got a kind of a workbench here, I might want to have this be my exit. Sure. We'll put doors here, why not? Right. We got it. And we really haven't gotten too much space for a bed. So what I think I'm gonna do should start adding a place to sleep. Which right now, I mean, shoot, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna do this if I can. Just to have a quick spot to sleep. That's enough for a bed, right? Sure is. And it's too exposed. Alright. That's what I get for trying to do something a little more makeshift. Alright. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna do this with it. How about now? Yeah, that's what I thought. Good morning. Alright. Get rid of all this nonsense I don't want there. We'll keep this there because their spawn is still set. But we really should just chop more trees for now. Maybe if crafting is over here, we add a little window behind it. So if we keep storage here, we keep crafting here. We can do a little smaller window, probably. We add some of these, some of those. Is the fence a little obnoxious for this one? Yeah, it gets in the way of the door, so maybe no fence there. Or what if we switch it around? Maybe. See how that looks. Why is it so skewed? Sure. Actually, no. That's why it looked weird, is because it's entirely wrong. It's just ridiculous. What are you doing? Let's add some stairs going down here. Let's add a little little things there so it looks a little more realistic. It's like no wonder it looked wrong. We want this. About there. And this. Yeah. About there, right? Yeah. It's amazing how things look better when you place them the way you want. So yeah, this little cubby will probably be a storage area of sorts. I'm gonna back the crafting table up, kind of against this window. Let's see. And it's gonna be too tall here. And I think I'm just gonna have a flat wall back here, to be honest. Okay. Now, we're gonna have to start thinking about what we want to do with the fire as well. Once we get these walls up all the way, the smoke from the fire will actually accumulate if we don't build a little chimney of sorts. So I have to start thinking about that. So as I'm doing this, Uh, and it may come through pretty harsh in the first few. I'm gonna be a little awkward talking, but part of why I'm doing this is to get a little bit better at that, to just get a little practiced in, and just like I'm not used to making commentary all on my own. Because right now I'm just sitting at a desk playing a game and just talking to no one. So that's gonna be an awkward thing the first few times probably. Hands off my stuff. So, you know, as I do more of it, I'll get a little bit less awkward, and I'll start getting a little chattier. I did kind of want to just start this series so I could talk about a few things, and so that I could you know, spend some time appreciating this game, because it is one of my favorites, and I don't really like the way this looks now that I'm talking about the game. Let's do a little bit of that. What am I thinking about this? Why is this bad? It's a little too basic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit of a snob. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it can be basic, you know? Maybe it's allowed to be perfectly basic. Okay. So we'll hope we can roof this thing, okay? The roof's gonna look a little odd, probably. So do we want to we'll just put a straight cap on it, I guess. We'll make it the shallow roofs. And we'll get a little fancier, I guess, as we go. But we should make a few starter buildings not as fancy. You know, just to show the growth, alright? That's what I've decided. Yeah, and we'll need to keep going back for more wood. But we're starting to come up with a little something of a base here, which is good. And I am going to break all this again. And hey, I can actually use this. Is this... Yeah, okay, so we can repair here now. We can finally start setting up what will be our, like, final spot for this. Okay. So... let's just do that. And I'm starting to second guess this a little bit, because I don't know how we want it here. Let's get more wood before we do too much. Let's just get more. Maybe take a crack at this deer. Yeah, there we go. That's the arc. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, one of the nice things you can do while you're chopping down trees is you can just place a stack of wood. Get it out of your inventory, pick it right back up with a hammer. And they look cool. Ooh. You done? I think this is probably one of the ones I'm going to be editing a little bit more, just because there's a lot of downtime while I'm chopping trees, and I don't always have a lot to talk about, so there'll probably be a few cuts here and there. Just kind of getting rid of some of the dead space. Alright, we got a little bit more going for us right now. So let's, first of all, okay, we do have both of those placed. Yeah. Let's work out. Let's get a little bit more of the roof made. A little bit more of the roof made. And then we can start thinking about that chimney. Whoop. Double click. Okay. So what would be useful here? We can put this interior corner roof in. Yeah, it is going to get a little weird here, isn't it? It is going to get a little weird there. Maybe... because that is more what it would be. And this gets patched up kind of like that. Yeah. We just have this open spot. I am gonna build up a couple ladders, I guess. And we'll figure out what we want this to look like. So initial thought is to just build up whoa. Let me make a little thing to stand on there. Okay. So if we put a 1, yeah, okay. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can just stand up on the roof now. Do that. Kind of get rid of this little side piece that we don't really need. And add the little crosses because they look stylish. Okay, and I think that's that's good enough, but let's see. We can use one of these inverted pieces there and some of the half walls to close that off just a little bit. Oh, we need a little bit more. The same thing over here. Maybe just add just so we can see a little bit of that ridge. And then take this down because I don't really need to be up there. I'm gonna carry the beam up all that way so that, that is a little bit more defined. We can start putting a little bit more beamage on the outside here. Just so things look a little bit more official, Like you can use a beam to maybe better frame the window. Other such things. Oh yeah, I know. I know it would make this look a little bit better as beams. Any bland, boring wall that you have, you can always add beams to it. Yeah. You can always add beams, and it will look a little bit better than it did. Alright. Maybe we move this a little bit closer to the window. Or alongside. Hold up. We move it right here. That works. It's relatively close to the fire. We can probably make a little nightstand or something cute like that. Gotta put a little deer rug there to give us a little more comfort. Oh, and we do probably want to have a little bit more in the way of interior lighting. Oh, missing requirement. I spent all that time lining it up. I don't even have wood. Okay. Okay. Add a little bit more resin in these. Alright. It's starting to look like home. It's starting to. So we can start putting chests around. Probably. It's gonna be our next little area of concern here. You know. Let's have one of these starting here. Just place a few of these. Maybe we do this. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Take all this random junk. I'm not going to organize it just yet. I just want to get it moved in. Give me these. All right. Maybe we keep some of the more cooking themed things over here by the fires so that we can, you know, use cooking things. Oh, I can only place one of those. Okay. I feel like this is probably a pretty good place to call this one. How long have I been recording? I don't have a timer for that. Anyway, we've got our base set up. We've got the starting of some storage. We'll probably need a lot because we'll accumulate quite a bit. And we've got the beginnings of a little place here. I might continue to add some little beams and bits and bobs here and there, but I think this is good. Alright, we'll see you in the next one.